Today is September 15th, 2021, and this may be a vlog, this just may be a post, but I'm currently living in Belize, and I am currently realizing that as of October 1st in this country, there will be, essentially, if you do not have the vaccine, you will not be able to go into public buildings, banks, grocery stores, anybody who complies with this mandate. And also, I believe the taxi drivers are being told to enforce this, and most of the people here travel through the colectivos, the taxis, and on the bus. So if even on the bus they decide that you can't travel freely, unless you have the vaccine, or unless you unless you have a negative COVID test to prove that you don't have the virus. And I know I've said it multiple times, I am the algorithm, so whoever needs to hear this will hear this. Whoever wants to hear this will hear this. I'm just sharing what's happening. I'm not even necessarily speaking an opinion. But if you don't have a negative test, or if you don't have, then you won't be able to move about freely. And I know that's happening in the States. And every time I share it with somebody in the States, they remind me that it's happening there too, but it's different when you're in a smaller place. And I think the thing that I'm meant to share right now to my people in the States, to people in other countries, as a person who has found home in a place outside of America, whether it be for a short amount of time or for whatever, I find home wherever I go, but Belize is special to me. America affects everybody, and we hear this all the time. We hear the ways in which what happens in America determines things for other people, but to be able to live it and see the things that we are allowing to trickle out into the world, even thinking about people's bodies, people having the right to choose for themselves, that looks different in a country where people already have that privilege in a lot of ways, but don't even necessarily take advantage of it. And I think being away from America has just opened my eyes to the ways in which, as Americans, we do have so much privilege, we do have so much access to stuff, and we don't take advantage of it. And most of the times we don't take advantage of it because of our oppression, and because of our connection to our oppression, because of our trauma bond with our connection, because of the way we hold on to our oppression. It's very easy for us to point the finger, but to not take accountability or see accountability or be open to being accountable for the ways in which the way we've been taught to live as Americans have taught us to just recreate that cycle, but even in a bigger way, because people see America, even thinking about governments, they see what's happening there, and then they do echo it in other places. It's like people try to be like it, or people try to, it's like, if America's doing this, we got to do this. If America's making everybody take the vaccine, then we have to do it too. Not really thinking about, how is this going to affect our culture? How is this going to affect our climate? How is this going to affect our people? How is this going to affect the people who are, and obviously, I'm just speaking from what I'm seeing, because I always tell everybody, in a lot of ways, I am a refugee. I'm an immigrant. I'm not having an expat experience. Even thinking about the way it's easy to be popular as a travel vlogger on YouTube, because you've made kind of being an expat fun, or you've made it be whatever. But it's like, when you leave America and you're an immigrant in another country, and I think, because a lot of times people, and not just America, because it's European countries, it's anywhere that people have been connected to European influence, to Caucasian influence. America just does it in a different way. And that's why even it's funny the riff and that you see between the way Europe looks at America, when it's like in a lot of ways y'all are the same. Y'all are the same, just doing it, and Europe birthed America, like the white versions. It's all the white versions of all of the shit we know, whether it be the Spanish, the white Spanish people, the white Europeans, the white. Obviously, we know that there were brown people who were involved in trades and who were involved, even thinking about the Moors. I'm not even going to talk about them. But it's just real interesting. But I'm also seeing the ways in which it's affecting my life, and even realizing, like, I'm checking for myself. Ain't nobody really checking for me. Ain't nobody really, not none of my friends from the States. Like, they are, but they're not. It's like, I don't think, because they're in it. They're caught up in it. Like, I've just been seeing the way being American, like, looking back at this video, I just want to interject this. Stuff looks different in places where people actually have to work harder for their shit. That's the nice way of me saying it. I realize that's the stuff that I haven't. It's harder for people. It's harder here for people. So even these rules that they're implementing, as much as they have the well-being of the people in mind, it's actually harder for people. Even wanting people to get a negative test, it's like people have to pay for that. Like, every time you have to get tested, you have to pay for that. But it's like, if you're requiring a negative test to just get in the taxi or to even just get on the bus, it's like, that is very extreme. Like, that's very extreme. And I can see the world where people are like, well, da da da. But it's like, if you did a lockdown and actually did it in a way where people still had access to stuff, like where people could still get stuff, like where you set it up to where it can actually work for the system. Like, I'm not saying any of this stuff is right. I'm just saying, like, there's ways to implement stuff. Like, there's ways to implement stuff to make it work, like, because either way, they're making us do stuff. They're making us wear masks. They're making us social distance. They're telling people how and when they can open their business. Like, they're affecting the way business is flowing. So it's like, if this is already happening, then people need to at least be coming together to create systems and structures and infrastructure. These words are coming up, to like make the stuff work, like to really make it work and to stop it. But instead of just giving away our power, like, we are giving away our power. It's like, if somebody gives you a red pill and a blue pill, you're supposed to say, fuck that, I'm gonna make my own pill. And instead, everybody's over here taking pills and arguing about it, when it's like, didn't your mama tell you not to take pills from strangers in the first place? Didn't your mama tell you that? If your mama never told you that, I'm telling you that now. Don't play the game. Create a new one. But either way, I have something to say, because obviously this was another introduction, because this is just one of those videos, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm giving y'all so much whatever. I know you're not feeling no type of way. The stuff, I feel like we've all been sat down. Everybody just needs to sit down. They should have made a way. There should be a way where people should be able to be home chilling, like having to like regenerate and reset. Like, I don't think there's wrong with having a period of that in humanity. I feel like nature has that every year. Winter season, there's parts of times of nature where everything is still. And I don't think humans, we don't have stillness. We've never had a collected, not in my lifetime, there hasn't been a collective period of like, let's all just come together and face and heal the shit and sit with shit and call shit what it is and illuminate shit. Like, and I feel like whether it's been planned or not, I'm like, take advantage of the fucking space, and also be aware of the people who have to work way harder, even just to put food on the table. There's so many people in the States who eat food and ain't never fucking been to a garden, ain't never seen an animal be killed, ain't never had to. And there's so many people in other places who that's the only way they'll eat. That's the only option. Even if you do live in a place with more land, it's like, but you have to know the land. You have to take care of the land. You have to be able to work with the land to not destroy it. And people in more modernized places, people in places with more infrastructure, those places tend to not have to recognize, not have to learn, not have to connect, not have to see that in anything outside of themselves, you know? But I just interjected to say that because I didn't want to leave that part out. And if you made it this far in the video, you a real one. But back to whatever I was saying before, what I was saying, because I was saying something. Or being from a place of privilege, you know, how it does just create this air of ignorance and this air of just, I don't know, but it really, it just don't sit right with me no more. Like, I'm removed from that. But even when I was there, I was never truly a part of that. I could never really truly embody that. Like, it always didn't feel right, you know? That's why I had to get out. That's why I had to breathe a different air. That's why, you know, and I would probably go to other places, but I'm grateful for the ways I've been humbled, even in my journey, even being a person who like is growing out of, who has, I believe now I've transcended poverty consciousness because I had to do a lot of work to get myself out of just feeling like I don't have anything unless I have money or unless I have whatever. But it's like, I feel like living here for the past 2 years has really made me have a newfound just respect and understanding, you know, for the ways that I've always been and for the ways that I've always kind of, I don't know, like I always, even in the States, I didn't really feel like I belonged. I just have always felt like the way I feel and I think. And coming here made me realize this is why, because I do feel the world. I do feel the people around me. I do feel the land. I do feel God. I connect to those things. I care about how all of those things feel and how all of those things are working together. And I always consider all of those things, and all that I do, everything is spiritual to me. Everything is intentional. Everything is purposeful. I pay attention, you know, like I pay attention. I can see. I can see. I can see. That's all I'm going to say. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to express, to be honest. I just wanted to get these thoughts out of my head and to remind myself to not be fearful because something new is on the brink. New is the newness. Change is here. Like it's here, you know, but it's how we're navigating it and how we're moving through it. And also, again, the battles that we're choosing. Like, are we picking our battles wisely? And that's what I've noticed. We don't, as a collective, people don't typically choose their battles wisely. And I like to work smarter, not harder. I like to, I don't know, the warrior in me just doesn't tolerate that. Nonetheless, that's just some stuff to think about. Like, stuff looks different in places where there's more land, in places where the people are more connected in different ways. And I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I do know how to describe it, but I think there's a part of me that's trying not to like say, I'm trying, you know, I'm thinking about y'all's feelings. Because I started recording. Yeah. There's so much trouble in the world. Said there's so much trouble in the world. There's so much trouble in the world. There's so much trouble in the world. There is so much trouble. 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 So much trouble in the world. I think the thing about the trouble though is the people are troubled. The people are carrying the trouble. The people are spreading the trouble. And the people them they don't even realize. My neighbor done started recording this window, so unless I want to pick up his whole session in the background. I need to turn this off. Thank you for listening to me. Basically what I'm saying is the apocalypse is here. The apocalypse is here. Hunger Games, I hope not. I send love, I send peace to you. Who's ever watching this video, washing love and peace your way. Love and peace, sovereignty, sovereignty. All is well, all is well, all is well. I'm just gonna keep trusting and believing that things are working in my favor, working in my good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I love y'all.